introduction for everybody here. You guys all heard me, but Nick, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Nick Christensen. I work at GIMME Beauty, hair accessories company, and I am their director of e-commerce, just managing all their online experiences.
And I'm Steve Clark. I'm the VP of Operations at a brand called Spoonful of Comfort. And I brought my lawyer here with me, who's my director of IT.
Yeah, and I'm Aric Beagley. I am the director of technology for Spoonful of Comfort and the nerd of the company. So,
Awesome. Well, let's start right down there. I just want to start from everybody when we're thinking about different AI systems, tools, processes, things that you have implemented in your company so far.
yeah, definitely. So, I mean, it's one of the things as a company to try and keep up with the cutting edge, especially from the technology side. That comes with its own set of challenges in terms of, finding out whether or not something is, going to be lawful in terms of privacy concerns, things along those lines. So a lot of the way that we approach it is, there's a lot of great tooling out there. How are they utilizing the data? What models is it getting passed to? Things along those lines is where I kind of get a little bit more in depth versus just kind of evaluating a tool from a success standpoint of actually giving us some sort of benefit. But there's plenty of, ways to explore that. And then, at Spoonful of Comfort, we're looking at a lot of ways from, we just heard about customer service, different areas there that we're looking to leverage and create some of even our own agents, things like that will work with our own data within our own private cloud to work with either customers or internal processes that the man of the hour here next to me can implement for the team in the organization. But from my side, it's mostly looking at the tech behind it, looking at kind of what privacy controls that we have for this particular piece, and then also whether or not it's something that we can keep internal and kind of in the same context of our other development initiatives at Spoonful of Comfort.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add to that. He's doing all the hard work, and I just... Yeah, actually, from excuse me, from an operations standpoint, we are looking at using AI more in an agentic method. So, thinking about all the things that you would hire an analyst to do, I'm looking at it from from our supply chain standpoint. We've got a very small team, and the gut reaction when we get bigger is that we need to add more headcount. What we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out what are some of the day-to-day tasks that our analysts are doing that we can have agentic AI do for us. And so that would be like, how do we make decisions on how much to put on a purchase order, when to place a purchase order, following up with vendors, because we have over 300 vendors, a lot of them being overseas. So, can we create some kind of automatic follow-up process to take away some of the day-to-day strain from our analysts so that we've got more time to do other things. Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like there's a way of escaping what AI, is and is becoming. It's integrated into everything that we're using. For us, everything from Shopify to our email service providers and SMS, and now similar to what Gladly AI is doing, we have a similar chat system that helps just respond and answer to any customer's questions, concerns, returns, things like that. That have really just helped us be able to manage our time and where we're putting our focus and efforts towards. But I do see with all these things, how helpful they've been and what they've been able to help us do and help us be able to put more focus towards the things that are needed. That's what's been really nice. And aside from that, like I was saying, everything just seems to be turning more and more towards that. And yeah, just trying to figure out how to end this.
So I would love to hear, talking about, obviously there's, as you said, AI's in everything. What are some AI either tools or processes that you have either been pitched or sold that you are shying away from, and maybe some of the reasons why?
Yeah, I'll take that. So this is really loud. So we are, we want to be calculated in our approach to adding any kind of AI solution, because what happens when AI becomes so ubiquitous that everybody's using it is that your experience, the customer experience, is at risk to being degraded. And so you can, when everybody has AI agents that are answering phones for them and doing all the AI chats, there's still a human component that can win over your customers. And so we're trying to strike that balance of like, okay, what are we going to use AI to help us become more efficient in, but also how do we make sure that when a human interaction is needed, it comes at the right time? And so for our customer service team in particular, we are trying to do similar stuff with we don't use Gladly, we're exploring other options, but how do we, when they engage with us in a chat, when they're asking like, where's my order? What's the status of my shipping? I need to change this thing on my order. Those things are the things that can be changed with AI. Those are things that don't necessarily need a human interaction. But when they call and they say, hey, my soup arrived warm and I don't know if it's safe, and is it okay if I have mold on my bread? Can I eat it? Those are the times when you're like, no, okay, we need to step in. We need to put in our own special touch in there. And that's what we call human in the middle. So there's agentic solutions with AI, but we need to be able to teach it to know when a human interaction needs to get put in, and we alert our team and they jump in and they take care of it.
What about you? Anything come to mind?
Yeah, I think when looking at it, we do have sort of a process in how we choose what AI to go with. I think complexity is a big thing as well. Is this something that our team can manage on their own? Where are they at in their process with their AI growth and the capabilities that they have? And then there's so many AI tools out there. It's just shopping around and seeing what's going to be the best tool for our company, as well as how we can utilize those things.
Are there any tools right now or parts of AI that you're shying away from? That
it's hard to say, because I see all these things today, and you see all that, just how advanced we've become even over the past 6 months. Image generation has been one of those things that I just haven't been confident in, just due to missing the brand element or missing the actual visualization of what our company or brand needs. And I think it really all depends as well on the industry and who your target audience is. So those have been things that I've tried to, as we look and see and we research, like those are things that have been a little harder to go towards. But it's also just incredible to see just where we are at so far with AI and where we'll be again in another 6 months. Because with AI, our advancements just continue to scale at a extremely fast.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Aric.
Yeah, so to kind of add, Nick, you bring up a good point with complexity, right? So, Spoonful of Comfort in terms of an e-commerce business has had a hard time fitting into some of the existing tooling and things like that are out there for a standard e-commerce business. We have a lot of customizability when it comes to packages, a lot of different occasions, and then as Steve mentioned here to the right, you have a lot of situations that demand customer service be a little bit more accommodating to a sensitive situation. So for us, evaluating a complexity piece, especially when looking at an agent or a tool or something along those lines, it has to be able to support a variety of different things. Like there's a lot of talk right now about agentic, purchasing, Google's design doc around basically how agentic commerce will work, the exploration with Walmart, OpenAI, things like that. So it's kind of, figuring out how to mold something that's complex into something that's relatively new, that's still coming out, exciting and awesome. But how does it work when you have something that's complex or complicated to make it behave the way that you'd expect it to in a situation where instead of my soup or my bread being moldy, hey, this is a very sensitive situation. I had a friend pass away or had my parent pass away, and now this is moldy that you sent it to them. How do we handle this situation? And that's a little bit hard sometimes to kind of really get the AI to be extra compassionate and extra careful about how to say certain things. So that's where we kind of inject those human in the middle approaches. But I'd say that the next biggest thing is kind of looking at the agentic commerce and how do we open this up in a way that we can support this customizability. And, I think we'll be jumping on that Google train here at Spoonful of Comfort to kind of open up our store to be able to support this open protocol that, hopefully will allow for some customization. So
Talking about the Shopify and Google partnership or
So Shopify and OpenAI are the ones that are kind of going there, but Google has also released kind of like their open specification for how agentic commerce will work within their platform with Gemini. So that's one that, I mean, we're kind of, a little bit more, we have a backend that is, supported by a major provider like BigCommerce, but we're all headless. So we do a lot of our in-house development and customizability through a development team. So we will be kind of adding a little bit more touch through some of these agent development kits, things like that being released by OpenAI and Google. So we're looking to tie into those kind of situations.
oh, really cool.
Can I ask a question for Aric? Because I think everyone will want to know this. So what do you see as a hurdle or a watch out, as because I know a lot of people out here are on Shopify and kind of like these out of the box platforms. We don't use a ton of out of the box solutions. We do a lot of internal. So what are some like watch outs for those who are using these more out of the box platforms that they need to be aware of as they try to implement or implement these new tools?
Oh, you would ask that question. There's a lot of horror stories on my side of the fence where, we gave too many credentials or too much of a credential to a particular AI, and there goes your database. So definitely kind of one of the things that you kind of want to look out for is, what guardrails are in place from the solution that you're looking at. And if you're utilizing something like the ADKs that are provided to you, how good is your tooling that you're building into it? Because, it's going to try and assume what it needs to do based off of what you're giving it. And if you expose too much, it could expose that. So you kind of have to watch and, really pay attention to what you're providing these models, because at any point in time, we've all seen the cases where, something gets prompt injected and then there goes a whole bunch of data that you did not want necessarily exposed and stuff like that as well. So I think that the number one thing to watch out is, make sure that what this tool or what you're building is actually got some security around and some governance around what you're actually going to be feeding it or it's spitting out.
Yeah, it's always annoying when you're connecting a new tool and there's like 50 different read write permissions that you're trying to, and yet as you're saying that, I'm thinking, oh no, that's good because I'm actually seeing the exact control or ability I'm giving to this tool that I'm connecting, right? If it's just like, hey, click to connect, and by the way, we're going to have access to this stuff, that's maybe where a little bit of a red flag as opposed to a list of things that we're going to go after, right?
And definitely, I mean, that's why we explore more of the ADK options to where we provide it basically the tooling that it's going to be using. You can still use a major model to do most of the analysis or kind of, the decision making that it's going to go through, but it will utilize only what's specified to it. So we control what data goes into it from that point. We can limit our own endpoints and our own APIs to make sure that we're being safe about what we're giving. And
Okay, so one more question for the group, and then we'll open up for audience questions. And we do have lunch getting ready. I know everybody's excited for that. But what is either a tool you're using now or a use of AI that's right there, real close, that you're excited about? So whether it's like ordering for you or something, what is a tool across any aspect of your business that is exciting now or that's close that you're excited about?
Yeah, I think AI, to me, I'm most excited about on the customer service side. I think it can really help you expand what you're trying to do to take care of your customers. So for what we're trying to do, we get a lot of people calling in saying, hey, where's my order? Where's this? Da, da, da. So yes, AI can help us with ticket deflection, and we can reduce the amount of tickets we're handling. So therefore, our customers are happier and they're not coming and calling us all the time. But we're also, if you're dealing with high sensitive ticket issues, we're also using AI that will go and it will scrape all of the information from customer emails, customer chats, even voicemails, or even transcripts of phone calls we're having with our customers. And we'll scrape all the data out of there, and it will help us to auto tag the tickets, and then it will filter our tickets to the most urgent. Because whereas we do right now, We just do first in, first out, where our agents are going in there and they're like, okay, this was the first one to email in, so I'm going to answer that one. But we could be burying very, very sensitive and time-sensitive issues at the very bottom of our inbox if we didn't have this filtering option. So I'm really excited about that, as well as we're using that same technology to scrape data and information from our tickets to find customer experience pain points. You know, the agents are hearing from customers saying like, it was really confusing to know how to, select this option or this option at checkout, or, I had this problem or this bad experience on the website or in the shipping process. So now we're using AI to scrape all that data to create insights for us to know, what are the next features we're asking for Aric's team to work on for us, and how do we quantify them, make sure that they're actually impactful to a large amount of customers. So that's been very, very helpful for us.
Cool.
Yeah. I think everything that has to do with chat just seems like it's where we're at right now. And it's so perfect as long as you can make those guardrails and you can continue to build out your persona for who's going to be speaking for you and all that. Those things are so exciting. And they're what's working really well right now. I'm continually, and I know a lot of this it exists now. It's a lot of how I can use this information to build it out for me, but just with everything with reporting and taking the reporting that we get from Shopify, any of our ad platforms, marketplaces and things like that, and taking that information and having it help me strategize for the next month, the next year, and just building out all that information and scraping that. I think those are the things that are just really necessary and exciting and easy, and like they talked about today, just taking all of that information into one place and being able to build out those models to help you know where you need to be or where you're going to be forecasting wise, how much I should be spending towards what. Those are the things that I'm excited to see and continue to learn more and do.
Yeah, we're in a beta program for a tool called Flaunt that, as opposed to we're also used to analytics where we have all these dashboards. It's actually just like a prompt feed that is connected to Klaviyo, to Shopify, say to Recharge or Skio, because we do a lot of subscription consulting. And so you can ask it something as sophisticated as, what emails are actually driving customer cancellations? So instead of doing all this manual work, it sees all the separate data sources, and I can just ask it questions and it can respond and it can suggest other ideas. I can ask additional questions. It's really, really cool. Yeah. It's that advent, I think, of more decisions where we can make strategy. It's as opposed to just things work a little faster, right?
Yeah. And I mean, you have a lot of those ESPs that do that as well, and how helpful that is with telling you when to send the information, or what audiences you should be sending this email to. Those things are super important and helpful.
Absolutely. Aric.
So yeah, a couple of tools that have been pretty helpful for our side. So I heard Snowflake mentioned earlier in the last talk. We use Snowflake as our data warehousing, and they also have a tool similar to what you just mentioned. So they have Cortex. So you can actually, all the data that essentially you load into Snowflake through tables, you can document, you can kind of, give information and context to Cortex and ask it similar questions, and it can span across your entire data warehouse. So if you have multiple applications that are syncing in, like what we have, or multiple data points that you're just adding in ad hoc, that you can just upload through a CSV into a Snowflake table, it gives you a prompt interface to actually, go through and learn about your data and have it analyze certain pieces of it to give you a little bit of actionable insight as well. That's one tool that we definitely have and have used. We also utilize Looker for the traditional dashboarding, things like that as well that you mentioned, and they're bringing out additional tools with Gemini as well that are, analyzing the data that it's getting back and explaining your graphs, what you can do, giving you some insights that will be beneficial as well. For those of you that are developers and work with developers, we are a big fan of Claude Code. So we utilize Claude Code a little bit to accelerate our development and get some, testing some boilerplate stuff and get some actionable insights for what we can do to have a better, more secure code base as well. So Definitely, you know, a big proponent of some of these tools that are coming out. Definitely the analytics tools, and then looking kind of to the future. If you're hosting your own applications on GCP, what you can do to train your own models, keep that internal, and you know, making everything basically stay in your own ecosystem. So.